first thing is we understood how do we or why do we calculate the power of a link and what is its importance. So for that we define certain parameters starting with EIRP. So EIRP is effective isotropic radiated power, and which is nothing but the product of the power being transmitted from the transmitting earth station into the gain of the transmitting antenna. Whenever we write the value in square bracket, it's a representation of a values in dB, that is 10 log of the value. So when I write in square bracket EIRP, it is P plus G and the unit is dB watts. The gain is given by eta pi d by lambda the whole square, or eta 10.472 FD square, and we even used it for calculating our gain of an antenna for a given dimensions. And then we so free space loss is something which will happen even when we say that there is no problem in the medium that we are using, that is a free space, or even under the clear sky conditions. So the values normally range between 200 dBs to 207 dBs. And after this we calculated the received power. So received power is definitely the transmitted power minus the losses in dBs. And when we convert the power in dB watts to dBm, dBm is with reference to 1 milliwatt, that is dividing it by 1 milliwatt, which is equivalent to adding 30 dB watts. So we get an value in dBm which is 30 plus the value in dB watts. And the uplink equation that we came across, the received power is the transmitted power into the gain of the transmitting antenna into the gain of the receiving antenna divided by the losses. Now, these losses may not only be the free space losses, but maybe because of other reasons also. So we saw what all could be the reasons contributing to the losses. The first being the antenna misalignment losses. When both the antennas, the transmitting and the receiving antenna, are not pointing towards each other, we come across antenna misalignment losses. Then there could be a depolarization losses, which could be because of ionosphere or because of the rain. Ionosphere has the charges and electron clouds, and whenever the signal passes through it, there are chances of the signal getting polarized. Similarly, the raindrops, when they are small in size, we do not experience the losses because it is spherical in shape. But as it becomes heavy or during the heavy rainfall, the shape of a raindrop is oblate in nature, and this may result in attenuation of a signal which is different in the horizontal and the vertical direction, which results in the change of a polarization or basically the resultant signal, and hence we need to either wait for the rain to subside to receive the signal, or enhance the power to receive the signal. Then even talked about the signal to noise ratio. This noise is nothing but the thermal noise, which is a product which is KTB, where B is the bandwidth, T is the equivalent noise temperature, and K is the Boltzmann constant. Normally, we instead of using KTB, we use the term noise density, which is nothing but KT. So sometimes you may be asked as signal to noise ratio or signal to noise density ratio. So that can be sometimes in the question itself, you may be asked these different parameters. Then another parameter definition that we did was the gain to equivalent noise temperature. Normally this is defined with respect to the earth station, G by TE. And this is a parameter which decides the size of your earth station. And as I had already told you in the last chapter, that G by T small means it's a small earth station, and when G by T is large, it's a big earth station, and whenever we say G by T, it is in normal decimal scale, but when we represent it in square brackets, it is G minus TE, and that is to be done in dBs, that is 10 log of the value. After this, we came with the expression for the C by N0 ratio, that is C minus N0, which is the received power at the Earth's satellite minus the equivalent noise spectral density, that is KTE. Okay, so now today we will first start with this problem, and then we will go to the actual noise calculation. Here I am taking this problem not assuming, it's already given in the problem, the equivalent noise temperature, and we are directly using this. So what I would suggest is, let us, since a full link is an uplink and a downlink, so first what we will do is we will calculate the signal to noise ratio of an uplink, then signal to noise ratio of the downlink. So what are we given is, simply we will be taking one parameter at a time, that is uplink first. So when I start with uplink, it is first I need to calculate the received power, and then I have to calculate the C by N0 of it, and then I will have to calculate for the downlink. So we will start from here. So I request all of you to start doing with me, so that there is no communication gap and understanding, because from this chapter what you will be asked is the numericals only. So received power is what you need to calculate. Whatever is given is already given in the form of given only. So definitely you are expected to first write what all are given. You are given that the output power at saturation. But word I want to talk about also, I had talked about that there was a back off. Back off is, we don't want our device to work in saturation, because it is actually working in a non-linear region, and therefore we need to have a back off. In case back off is defined, the received power is nothing but whatever is the received power minus the back off. Okay, it is PT, right? PT is the transmitting antenna gain. What is the transmitting antenna gain? देखो free space loss दिया है 206, right? Already दिया है losses में. Let's first calculate say losses. ठीक है? Losses बताइए, losses कितने हैं? लॉसेस कितने हैं? फ्री स्पेस लॉस माने कितना है? FSL इज 206, ठीक है, प्लस क्या है तुम्हारा ब्रांचिंग एंड द फीडर लॉसेस. टोटल लॉस कितना हो गया? 206.5 प्लस 4. Another thing that I can see here is 5 point number 5 क्या है? एटमॉस्फेरिक लॉसेस, ठीक है, एटमॉस्फेरिक लॉसेस, हाँ, तो इट इज 0.6. और कोई लॉस दिखाई दे रहा है हम लोगों को? नहीं, ठीक है. तो मेरा टोटल लॉस, यस आई कैन सी सम आंसर इन द चैट बॉक्स. बैक ऑफ लॉस, बैक ऑफ इज नॉट अ लॉस. प्लीज रिमेम्बर, बैक ऑफ इज नॉट अ लॉस, इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ योर रिसीव्ड पावर. तो हम वो आएगा, हम सबट्रैक्ट करेंगे, बट दैट विल बी इन द रिसीव्ड पावर. तो लॉस का नहीं है वो पार्ट. ओके, इज इट क्लियर? यू विल नॉट राइट बैक ऑफ एज अ पार्ट ऑफ लॉस. So 206 plus 4 is 210.211.1. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
211.
And it's not watts, it's dB watts. अब क्या करना है तुमको? रिसीव पावर. चलिए अभी मैंने लॉस निकाल लिया, रिसीव पावर मुझे निकालना है. तो लेट मी अगेन टेक माय टेक्स्ट बॉक्स. तो रिसीव पावर हम लोग PR करते हैं. PR is equal to PT/GT. Now what is my PT/GT? EIRP can I see? Yes. PT, can you see the transmitted output power? Yes. Can you see 2000 watts? So it is 10 log of 2000. Yes, PT हो गया. That is in dBs. Yes or no? What is the gain of an antenna? Earth station antenna का gain कितना दिखाई दे रहा है? 64 dBs. Right? तो मेरा already G is in dBs, तो मैं as it is लिखूंगी. PT GT हो गया ये. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
समझ में आ रहा है ये प्रॉब्लम? हाँ. PT plus GT. I'm so sorry. PT plus GT minus plus GR, right? माइनस लॉसेस, ये इक्वेशन है रिसीव पावर का. ठीक है, ये हमने निकाला था. तो अभी आ गया पीटी जीटी हो गया. जीआर क्या है? रिसीविंग एंटीना का तुम्हारे को सीधा जी बाय टीई दिया है, राइट? दिस इज लाइक आई हैव टू एक्चुअली कैलकुलेट माय सी बाय एन रेशियो. सी माइनस एन 0, राइट? फाइनली मुझे सिग्नल टू नॉइस रेशियो निकालना है. दिस इज इक्वल टू दिस. ठीक है, सिग्नल टू नॉइस रेशियो इज पी आर माइनस के इंटू इक्वलेंट नॉइस टेम्परेचर, और आप माइनस टीई भी कर सकते हैं. तो दिस रिसीव पावर जो आएगा हमारे पास, इट इज नथिंग बट इट हैज टू बी डिवाइडेड बाय टीई, करेक्ट? माइनस के. ओके ओके, आर यू गेटिंग? हाउ डिड आई गेट दिस इक्वेशन? ये हमने ऑलरेडी निकाला था. I'll just try to stop it. हाँ, ये देखो सी बाय एन का इक्वेशन जो लास्ट क्लास में था, EIRP PTGT हो गया. G by T is the of the receiving antenna minus the losses minus 10 log of K. 10 log of K minus 10 log of K का आप वैल्यू याद कर लीजिए. इट इज 228.6 I suppose. तो दिस इज आइदर यू कैन एक्चुअली कन्वर्ट 10 log of k, यही वैल्यू आएगा. तो ये स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू है. यू नीड नॉट कैलकुलेट इट एवरी टाइम. ओके, सो k इज 228.6 dBs. ओके, यस, इज इट क्लियर? हम जो कर रहे हैं, P64 हो गया, PTGT हो गया, G by TE is already given. I'll write it as minus 5.3, right? You please see the unit dB per Kelvin. हाँ, टेम्परेचर का यूनिट होता है dB Kelvin. Okay, plus what I have to do? अभी क्या है? G by T हो गया minus the losses. What are the losses we calculated? 211.1. 211.1, right? Minus 10 log of k, which comes out to be plus 228.6, right? K Boltzmann constant का value है plus 228.6, correct? Can you give me the final value of this expression? 10 log of 2000 plus 64 minus 5.6 minus 211.1 plus 228.6. Please give me the value.
109.210.
109 हाँ
0.210.
210. Now, do you think this is the right answer or have I missed something? मैंने कुछ बताया और वो मैंने नहीं किया है. It is minus back off, right? मैंने आपको बोला ना, ये इक्वेशन क्या चेंज हो जाएगी यहाँ पे. इसके अलावा there will be a term minus back off, right? Okay, so this will come out to be, the answer will be 109.210 minus what is the back of 3? That is 106.2 dB. Units is only dB क्योंकि ratio of powers है तो it is only dB, right? Just look at the expression जो हमने last time ली थी, वही चीज को मैंने simply substitute किया है and this is what I have done. यही चीज किया. नॉर्मली G by T डायरेक्टली दिया हुआ होता है, ठीक है. हमने लॉसेस कैलकुलेट किए और इसकी वैल्यू डाल दी. ओके, नाउ कैन यू डू इट फॉर द डाउनलिंक. सब कुछ दिया है, ट्रांसमिटेड पावर का पावर दिया है, बैक ऑफ दिया है, लॉसेस दिया है. जस्ट क्विकली एवरीवन, फर्स्ट टेल मी व्हाट आर द लॉसेस. हाउ मच इज द लॉसेस? 205.6 और क्या है 0.5, राइट, एंड 0.4. फीडर लॉसेस 0 है, कुछ है ही नहीं, तो कितना है लॉसेस? बट यस, परफेक्ट, 206.1. ओके everyone, are you getting 206.1 dB watts? Yes, everyone got losses. अभी मेरे को डाउनलिंक के लिए C by N निकालना है. C by N of downlink, सॉरी N नहीं, N0. बताइए क्या होगा इसका वैल्यू? इसमें क्या है?
Atmospheric losses, then it will be 206.5 dB watts.
लिखा है ना 0.5 और 0.4 दोनों किया ना, तो it is 206, sorry 5.5. I'm sorry, yes, 206.5. We have to consider फीडर लॉस, एटमॉस्फेरिक, जितना मैंने उस दिन लॉसेस बोले आपको दिए हैं डायरेक्टली. मैंने उस दिन भी आपको बताया आपको कैलकुलेट नहीं करना होता डायरेक्टली, इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर डेटा शीट. हमको सीधा उनको ऐड करना होता. बट वी शुड बी अवेयर व्हाट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लॉस एंड व्हाट इज बैक ऑफ. द फर्स्ट डाउट आई होप आई हैव क्लियर्ड. बैक ऑफ इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम लॉसेस. It is a part of the final expression. Yes, the unit is dB watts. Why? Because it is power. ठीक है. C by N का रेशियो dB होता है क्योंकि it is a ratio of 2 powers. कीर्ति, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now tell me what is this? C by N कितना होगा? PTGT कितना आएगा? PTGT means 10 log of 10 dB watts है 10 plus what is the satellite antenna gain? 30.8, right? Plus G by TE is 37.7, correct? Minus the losses, that is 206.5 plus 228 minus back off, that is 0.1. रिसीवर एंटीना गेन, कौशल, यू कैन सी ये जो अर्थ स्टेशन है इज द रिसीवर, राइट? उसका गेन बाय टीई, द नॉइस इज ऑलरेडी गिवन, सो आई एम कंसिडरिंग दैट. And the antenna gain that you are talking about, we already considered. See, 30.8 is the transmitting antenna gain, right? यहाँ दिया है satellite का antenna gain is 30.8. I have considered this is PTGT. The receiving antenna gain, that is G by, and the noise TE, that is G by TE, I have considered 37.7. ये था ना हमारा इक्वेशन. आप एक बार फिर से देख लीजिए इक्वेशन. PTGT receiving antenna का minus losses minus this minus the back off. तो अभी एक चीज जो हमने मिस की है वो पॉइंट नंबर 8 है. I'll come to it in detail when I'm taking the next part. Okay, 99 point. Now we see a difference here. I'll come to this part when I'm taking the noise in detail. So the answer is, right now for us, we are not considering point number 8, and therefore the answer comes out to be 99.9 dB. sometimes the another thing that we come across is अभी तक आपको क्या था, you were given the power being transmitted, PT directly दिया था, and we were taking PT-GT to calculate EIRP. But sometimes what happens is, especially for the satellite, the receiving satellite, instead of giving the power, what it is given is, it is given in the saturation flux density or the flux density. What is the flux density? It is power divided by the area of the antenna, the receiving antenna. So it is nothing but, is instead of receiving power, because we need to actually understand that this antenna has a saturation limit, and we have to take care that your antennas do not, or the satellite does not come into the saturation region. So once we are not specified about the sensitivity or the power that is being transmitted or received by the antenna, but power flux density, we need to rewrite our expression of C by N in terms of flux density. The flux density, the power being transmitted, that is the PT-GT. I should have written it here only. That is power being that is flow, that is nothing but PT-GT, that is EIRP. So it is EIRP by 4 pi r square. So I can just write it in dBs as EIRP plus 10 log of 1 by 4 pi r square. Okay, now all of us are aware of the expression of free space losses, which I gave in the last class only, that FSL is 10 log of lambda by 4 pi. It's in the denominator only, so 10 log of 4 pi 1 by 4 pi r square. So when I am actually trying to rewrite 1 by 4 pi r square in terms of EIRP and the flux density. Okay, so the free space losses, I will write this 1 by 4 pi r square as minus FSL plus 10 log of lambda by 4 pi. And therefore my expression of psi becomes EIRP 1 by 4 pi x square, 4 pi r square gets replaced by this equation, that is minus FSL minus 10 log of lambda by 4 pi. Okay, now what is my task? EIRP will not be given to me, so I need to write it in terms of flux. So I'll just interchange and try to find the expression of EIRP. So EIRP will be your flux density plus FSL plus 10 log of lambda by 4 pi. This term 10 log of lambda by 4 square is called as the effective area of isotropic antenna and is represented by A naught. So the expression of EIRP becomes psi plus FSL plus A naught. Okay, so I will just this FSL, with FSL we will have all the losses except the feeder losses. The reason is this is with respect to the free space and not at the point of feeding. Although it writes FSL, this is not correct here. Or yes, the losses are the sum of FSL, but these losses are having all the losses: atmospheric, polarization, antenna misalignment, except the feeder loss. So the expression of EIRP can be written as, if I represent this losses here, FSL is nothing but losses minus A naught minus PL, AML. So basically it is this whole expression minus FSL. So losses minus FSL, sorry, feeder losses, not FSL, RFL, that is the feeder losses, is this expression of FSL. So you have no expression of EIRP in terms of flux density, and therefore the final expression that you may be asked to derive is what is C by N, uplink or downlink, in terms of power and in terms of flux density. So flux density, as you can see, this back off is there here also. So flux density, I have simply replaced EIRP by our expression that we have derived, and what we get is these plus losses and minus losses gets cancelled, and what is remaining is C by N is flux density plus the effective area minus the feeder losses minus back off plus the G by T minus the K. Any doubt in this? Because this is very important. ये directly proof के लिए आता है. I'll just try to explain it again because I know it's a lot of derivations in it. What we are trying to do is we are trying to represent our EIRP in terms of flux density. The first question that may come to your mind is why we are doing so. Because sometimes in the data sheet, especially of the satellite, instead of giving the power, we are given the saturation flux density. So we should also know a representation of the expression instead of EIRP in flux density. Now what is flux density? It is the power being transmitted, that is PTGT, divided by the area of the radiating surface, that is an antenna. So it is EIRP divided by 4 pi r square, and we simply write this expression in terms of FSL. It's just like rearranging your information. We are already aware of the expression of it is lambda by 4 pi r the whole square, right? So we have just removed that 1 by 4 pi r square here and kept FSL, and this term is nothing but the effective area of an isotropic antenna, and we get the expression of the flux density as EIRP minus FSL minus the effective area, or I can write EIRP as psi plus FSL plus the effective area. Now point is this FSL is representing the losses through the free space. That may also account for atmospheric attenuation, polarization, as well as the antenna misalignment. So it will have all the losses except the feeder losses. So these losses can be represented as losses minus the feeder losses. And when I represent this expression of EIRP into my total C by N equation, the losses term gets cancelled, and what we get is C by N is psi plus A naught minus RFL minus back off plus G by T minus K. And the same equation. So these two equations are very important when you are solving a total communication link, whether it is uplink or downlink. यहाँ पे आपको uplink दिख रहा है, यही चीज अगर मुझे downlink के लिए करना होगा तो ये क्या हो जाएगा सब? Uplink is from the earth station to the satellite, means this is representing from the earth station, this is representing at the satellite, and similarly for the downlink क्या होगा? ये satellite होगा और ये रिसीविंग अर्थ स्टेशन होगा, और ये डाउनलिंक फ्रीक्वेंसी पे होगा, और अपलिंक में ये अपलिंक फ्रीक्वेंसी. द रेस्ट अदर रिमेन्स द सेम. Am I clear? Yes or no? A problem we need to solve. So on a satellite uplink, an L-band saturation flux. Now the equation that we are supposed to use is this equation. I hope you have noted down this equation. नहीं किया है तो please note down because we need to solve it. Now you are given the saturation flux density of the satellite is 90 dB watts per meter square. Please see the units. Based on the following data, find EIRP and C by N. So what is an EIRP? We know EIRP is psi plus A naught plus losses minus feeder loss. Feeder losses are not mentioned, means I'll take it as 0. What are the losses? The losses could be the free space losses only. Okay. And what is A naught? A naught is 10 log of lambda by 4 square. So lambda I can calculate using the frequency. See, I have calculated using the frequency. 10 log of lambda is C by F. So C square by F square into 4 pi. Lambda is your C by F that I have taken. F आपको दिया हुआ है.
Ma'am, actually the formula EIRP का जो दिया हुआ है, in that you have to substitute, right?
Yes, you have to substitute, but the only thing is now losses are not given, right? Losses हमको find out करने पड़ेंगे. FSL हमको calculate करना पड़ेगा, उसमें दिया नहीं है. तुमको distance दे दिया उसने, देखो frequency दे दी, distance दे दिया, FSL तुमको calculate करना पड़ेगा. Now what is missing is FSL is not given to you, right? So
Yes.
it is 4 pi r by lambda, या 20 log of value कर सकते हो. Phi of m. Phi of m is already given na, minus 90 dB watt per meter square. Minus 90 minus 25.53 plus the FSL. FSL is coming out to be 169.8 now. It is minus 90 minus 25.5 minus back off, that is 10 plus, sorry, that is plus g by t, that is minus 8 minus of minus 228. कितना आता है ये आंसर?
95.07 dB.
मैंने approximately the same answer ना. Yeah, just make one correction. We did everything correct. Only thing is the units, please change it. It's not dB, it's dB meter square for A naught. For EIRP, it's dB watts, and for C by N0, it is dB hertz. So please remember the units and put them correct. So noise, as I told you, it is because of thermal noise, and therefore the expression is KTB, and where B is the bandwidth, T is the equivalent noise temperature. And that will be decided by the different electronic circuitries that you are using, because this thermal noise, as you know, is defined by the random motion of the electrons and also the radiations of the earth being accepted by the antenna. So if I look at a simple example of this case, where you have an antenna, the transistor 1 and transistor 2, I hope you remember this formula of PCOM, where the equivalent noise temperature is antenna plus the noise temperature of the first stage plus the noise temperature of second stage divided by the gain of the first stage, and so on. Always when you are designing any communication system, always it is preferred that you have your first stage a low noise amplifier. The reason for it is because with low noises, because it itself will have a low noise temperature as well as it will have a high gain, which will help us to reduce the noise impact of the further stages. This is because the total noise temperature is nothing but the first stage, that is antenna, plus the equivalent noise temperature of the first stage plus the second stage divided by the gain. So if this gain is higher, the impact of noise of the cascaded stages is reduced. The noise is also represented as noise figure, where noise figure is signal to noise ratio of the output divided by the signal to noise ratio of the input, which is nothing but given by the relation 1 plus TE by T, where T is the ambient temperature. Okay, so equivalent noise temperature is T into F minus 1, where F is in normal scale. Please remember, circle brackets are in normal scale, square brackets are in dBs. So when I take a multiple stage amplifier, definitely when I'm talking about transmission to such a long distance, it cannot be a single stage, it will be a multi-stage amplifier. So for the cascaded stage, there is an antenna temperature, the equivalent noise of the first stage and the further stages. These two are actually deciding the total noise contribution of the setup. And how can I reduce the antenna noise? I have already told you that if we have an elevation being provided to our antenna, the radiations from the earth being picked up by the antenna will be reduced and the equivalent noise temperature of the antenna gets reduced. And similarly, if we have a low noise temperature, this first stage itself will have a very low equivalent noise temperature. Okay, so I just take a simple example for calculating the equivalent noise temperature and the noise power. An antenna has a noise temperature, means T antenna is already given to be 35 and is matched to a receiver with a temperature of 100 K, means TE of the first stage is 100 Kelvin. calculate the noise density, that is K into T, and noise power with the bandwidth of 36. So it is very simple. The noise density is K into T. K is Boltzmann constant, 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23. The temperature is antenna plus the noise temperature of the first stage, that is 135. So that is how we calculate the noise density in joules. And when I multiply this with the bandwidth, that is 36 megahertz, what you get is the power in watts. So that is what we are supposed to do. In case we are given additional equivalent noise temperature other than antenna, we need to consider it while calculating our. Now, one more problem that you come across while for calculation of the noises, you are given noise figures in dBs and asked to calculate the equivalent equivalent temperature. So equivalent temperature or the ambient temperature may be given. This is not TE. It is ambient temperature is given to be 300 Kelvin. So as I have told you that the equivalent noise temperature is ambient temperature into noise figure minus 1. But since these are in dB, the first step that the students miss out is they directly take 4 minus 1 and calculate the equivalent noise temperature, and they get 0 marks is because dB has to be first converted into the normal scale before calculation of equivalent noise temperature. Okay. So just this problem was to show you that an equivalent noise figure difference of 0.1 dB is actually leading to a 17.4 degrees difference in the equivalent noise temperature. Okay. Did you understand this? How to convert log into a decimal? Ye important hai, right? 10 to power of whatever be the value, positive, negative, divided by 10, that will give you the value in. Okay. Now antenna noise I have already covered and told you that these are the two scenarios, and as I told you, the as you provide, and this is a case when it is actually touching the surface of the earth and when you have provided a certain elevation. Okay, so antenna noise is reducing, and this gives a plot of antenna noise temperature with the elevation, but after some time it is almost constant, and therefore we normally prefer the antenna noise between 10 to 15 degrees. Uske baad zyada impact nahi hota hai. So you will find your problems coming related to elevation is between 10 to 15. We don't provide 30 because जैसे जैसे आपका elevation बढ़ता जाता है, definitely the scope or converge हो जाएगा आपका angle of communication. So that is why we need to be actually having the minimum elevation. And rain fading also, this will be actually this rain temperature will be given in case we are calculating the noise under the rainy day. Otherwise normally आपका क्या होता है, clear sky conditions रहता है, and that we take it no impact on our system. But when it's a rainy day, there is a noise component because of the rain, and we have an equivalent noise temperature. So this is my total link, and the objective of this part is to find out the total signal to noise ratio. So for that, what we are doing is we will be actually representing this whole complicated system with the block diagram, where this block diagram represents Earth transmitting Earth station, the received power at the satellite, the noise getting added up of the satellite, and at the Earth we are receiving the signal from the satellite. And so I was talking about this whole block system being represented by a block diagram. So what we are doing is this gain, multiple stages of amplifiers, and this whole system, which may be a lossy medium, we represent it with the gain gamma. Okay, so this whole block diagram then further converts into the PRU at the satellite and the noise getting input at the satellite, the system being represented by a system of gain gamma, and at the receiving Earth station, this signal is received, along with there is some noise being added because of electronic circuitry at the downlink. So if PRU is at the input, the power being received at the earth station will definitely multiplied by gamma. So received power is gamma times PRU. The total noise will be noise at the uplink multiplied by gamma plus the noise getting added at the downlink. Now, this C by N, PRU by PNU is nothing but C by N0 of uplink, and gamma times PRU by PND, that is PR by PND, is C by N of downlink. And the total noise we know is gamma times PNU plus PND. For the convenience of derivation, instead of C by N, we take N by C total, which is the total noise divided by the total power being received at the earth station. So just substituting the values and separating them, what do we get is this equation represents the signal noise to signal ratio of uplink, and this represents noise to signal ratio of the downlink. These can be further represented like this by converting N by C to C by N to power of -1. We also have one more noise in our system, that is an intermodulation noise. Now, how does this come into existence is because of the system working in a saturation region, and how we can reduce it by providing a backoff. The larger is the backoff, the system will come into the linear region, and we can say the intermodulation noise is reduced. But larger backoff also is an indicator that you are reducing the noise signal power, and that will impact the signal to noise ratio of the uplink. When we are doing the calculations, all the values of C by N in dBs have to be converted in normal scale. How do we convert to normal scale? 10 to power of C by N in dB divided by 10. So I just showed you this plot to tell you the impact of backoff on the signal to noise ratio uplink, downlink, and intermodulation. The higher is your backoff value, the high is your signal to noise ratio intermodulation, which reduces with the reduction in the backoff. But the impact of high backoff, as you can see, is low values of uplink and downlink C by N. Therefore, we need to compensate to decide what should be the backoff where we get a very good signal to noise ratio, that is around -3 dBs, that we get the maximum signal to noise ratio, and instead of very high or very low, we select -3 dB backoff as the perfect choice. And after that, we did one problem where we could find out the total signal to noise ratio and represent it in dBs. Representing it in dBs is 10 log of the value in normal scale. But it's a mistake, it's in square brackets because I'm representing it in dBs. Is it clear? Yes? Okay. Consider a transmitting antenna. Just look at the problem. Transmitting earth station operating at an uplink frequency of 6 gigahertz. The antenna diameter is 7 meters with an efficiency of 60%. Antenna tracking losses and atmospheric attenuation is 1.2 dB. The uplink slant range is given. Generate the required output power of the HPA system at the antenna feed to provide -8 dB watt per meter square flux density at the satellite. Tell me how we will solve this problem. आपको psi दिया है, right? ये दिया है आपको. You need to find out A0. You need to find out the loss. Feeder loss भी आपको tracking नहीं चाहिए, नहीं दिया हुआ. Just try to solve this psi. See, they are asking you to find out. तुम्हें कितना power, that is what is your problem. You need to find out that PT. GT तो हम लोग निकाल सकते हैं, gain निकाल सकते हैं. इसके बाद हमको क्या करने का है? This EIRP PT plus GT. तो तुमको PT जो निकालना है, that will be equal to EIRP minus right? That will give you the output power. Generate the required output power. That means how much power needs to be generated of the high power amplifier system at the antenna feed, means at the input of the antenna, to provide you this flux density at the satellite. आप free space losses use करेंगे. Feeder loss दिया नहीं है, हम लोग calculate कर सकते. Losses will be free space losses plus 1.2. R आपका है 37506 और लैम्डा के लिए आप F बाय लैम्डा इज इक्वल टू सी, सॉरी F इज इक्वल टू C बाय लैम्डा ना, तो लैम्डा इक्वल टू C बाय F. फ्रीक्वेंसी 6 गीगाहर्ट्ज, या डायरेक्टली वो अपना फॉर्मूला यूज करो. dB. FSL कितना आ रहा है कीर्ति तुम्हारा?
204.95.
204 आ रहा है बराबर.
Yes, ma'am. 204.95. 948.
95 dB. ओके, सो लॉसेस कितने हो गए तुम्हारे? 206.15, करेक्ट?
Ma'am, it is coming as 350.968.
हाँ, कितना वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करते हैं?
350.96.
350 बहुत ज्यादा है कीर्ति. 20 log of, I'll also calculate with you, 4 into 3.14 into 6 into 10 to power of 9 into R is 37506 राइट, किलोमीटर्स है ना. आई एम सॉरी, R स्क्वायर नहीं, आई एम रियली सॉरी, मैंने स्क्वायर बाहर ले लिया है. हाँ,
Yes, ma'am, then it
divided
is
by
correct.
3 into 10 to power of 5 is equal to what? To power of 5. There is 199 ना, 199 ठीक रेंज में है. So, uh, 199.48. I am also getting the same answer. 199.48 is the correct answer. 199.48 ना मोहित?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो उसमें दो ऐड करेंगे तो 1.2 माने 200.58 होगी, नहीं 768 होगी, 68. ठीक है, तो EIRP कितना आया मोहित? 200.68 minus 80 minus 24.
Ma'am, 96.68.
96.628.
68.
68.
68.
68 dB watts ना, ठीक है. Okay, now G is again not given to us. We need to calculate the G for an antenna of diameter 7 meters with an efficiency of 60%. तो gain कितना आएगा हमारा? वैल्यू डालिए 60 by 100 into 3.14 into 7 by करके बताइए. मैं आई एम ऑल्सो डूइंग विद यू. pi 3.14 into 7 50.6 I am getting. How much are you getting? dB, हाँ मैंने कन्वर्ट किया dB में. उससे पहले कुछ बड़ा आंसर आता है. करेक्ट, यही आंसर आता है. माइनस नहीं आएगा कीर्ति, इट्स अ पॉजिटिव आंसर. इसको 10 log ऑफ वैल्यू लो तो तुम्हारा गेन आएगा. So your power PT is equivalent to 96.68 minus 50.6, which comes out to be 46.08. So now you understood how we will be deciding what should be the power being transmitted. You can even convert this into watts, which is equivalent to 10 to power of 4.6 watts. कितना होता है 10 to power of 4.6?
39,810.
39,810.
39810 watts. I'm getting. You are also getting same answer? 0.7.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Correct. Very good. Is this problem clear to everyone? From this chapter, you may expect derivation and problem. Derivation of C by N or majorly C by N total comes, and numerical. It will not be only derivation of C by N, derivation of C by N with the problem, because the problem is small, and this again C by N derivation and a problem with it. It will never be only derivation. It has got two parts, 6-4, 60-40.